Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. In today's video, it is the 2nd of March. I was supposed to film this yesterday, but I had to go to work and I didn't have a chance to film it in the morning, and I wasn't going to film the check-in in the afternoon. So yeah, I'm a day late, but it is a check-in nonetheless. If you are not familiar with this style of video on my channel, I do not weigh myself. That's not the measure of progress I use for weight loss. I rely solely on progress pictures, measurements and a gold try-on clothing section. So that is what I'm going to be doing today. I will sort of recap how my month has gone, and then I'll set some goals at the end as well, but that is the general gist. For this month, or last month should I say, how did it go? If you've been watching my pits and peaks, it has not gone very well at all. I did start off the month of February in quite good spirits. I'd managed to have quite a long streak of on days for my nutrition. I think I was on like 8 or 9 days, so I was going into February in really high spirits and hoping for a really good month. However, that just didn't happen. I have had one issue with being basically the taxi service for Philip. Obviously he's broken his hand, so he can't drive. So on the days that I'm not going into work, I take him to work, or I drop him halfway and a colleague picks him up, and that means that my schedule has been literally all over the place. It used to be that I would drop him off really early in the morning, which meant that I had like a 2-hour gap before I started work to do something. But I was finding that when I got back, I was either super hungry or really thirsty, or just really like run down and tired, that I just couldn't be bothered doing any runs. And then his schedule changed, so I was dropping him off a bit later, but that meant that I only had half an hour in the morning before I started work to sort of get something in, and that's not enough time for me to sort of fit in a run. And I couldn't do it before I dropped him off because I'd have to get up at a ridiculous time in the morning. So yeah, that's had a really sort of knock-on effect on basically everything this month. I have also had a personal issue this month that I've been dealing with that's caused me quite a lot of anxiety. I can't talk about it too much until I've sort of had these sort of follow-up appointments, so I won't really be going into too much detail about that until I've sort of figured out what's going on. But that has had its own sort of effects this month. So for the most part in February, I have been off track. I did hope that after everything had sort of settled down, sort of mid-month, that I would be able to get back with my nutrition and things like that. I've managed to pick back up my running, which is good, but my nutrition has been horrendous. I think for at least 3 weeks I've been off track. So that's not great. That does mean that when it comes to sort of progress for this month, I'm not really hoping for anything. I would really ideally like a maintain of measurements, but if I get a gain, then yeah, it's to be expected with the sort of month that I've had. So just gonna have to see how things go and then hope that I can sort of get back on track for March. I do feel as though I am at almost a point of what I was in August, where I'm feeling really frustrated with how things are going. I feel like I'm just going round and round in circles with this whole weight loss thing, and I'm on track for a while and everything's good and running is good, and then every so often something comes up and it puts a spanner in my schedule and whatever else, and I end up sort of going into bad habits, and then it takes me ages to get back out of it, and I'm not sure why that is, why I can't sort of, sorry, I've got a really dry throat, why I can't just sort of get back into things. So it's been really frustrating. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that at this point. I'm just going to have to sort of trundle on and hope that sort of things level themselves out, if you will, but we will get on with checking anyway, and I'll set some goals at the end of the video. So we'll do progress shots first. Okay, so we are going to do measurements next. As always, I'll speed up the process of me actually doing the measurements, and then I'll come back once they are done so I can talk about the results. Okay, so my camera cut off just as I was about to announce my measurements, so no measurements have changed this month. I will take that given the month that I've had, and I sort of expected to gain in some areas on measurements, so the fact that I haven't is a good thing. Obviously it's not a good thing that I'm still maintaining measurements and not going down, but given the month that I've had, I sort of expected maintenance or gain in measurements, so yeah, I'll take maintenance for sure. So we will move on to gold triangle clothing next. So as always, I have the elusive summer trousers that I've been trying to fit into for God knows how long now. So I've got those to try on, and then the other is a pair of skinny jeans. At this point I'm not sure whether I'm ever going to wear these unless I bleach them, because they've managed to get some weird bleach patches on them, but yeah, these are the other ones I'm going to be trying on. So we'll do the summer trousers first. Okay, so that is where I'm getting the summer trousers to at the moment. I don't think it's any sort of further or less as far up than the last time, so yeah, that's those. And then the skinny jeans. Okay, I do feel like they're slightly harder to get up. It might just be where I've not pulled them up enough, but yeah, they're still at the sort of hips where I don't have enough fabric in the thighs to sort of pull them up any further, so yeah, I don't feel it's any more or any less than last month, so yeah, that's that. Okay, I filmed this a couple of times and I'm getting mad now. Yeah, so I've done my progress shots, my measurements and my gold triangle clothing. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I was expecting either maintain or gain in measurements. Thankfully I have maintained my measurements, but yeah, I'm just feeling a little frustrated, a little angry. I'm not really sure how to sort of break this cycle at the moment, where I'm on track and being really good for a while, and then something comes up or something interrupts my routine and everything basically just goes to shit. I don't know what it is, because I've done this weight loss journey before. Obviously I've gained the weight back, but I feel like it's triply hard. Is triply even a word? Like doubly hard to lose the weight this time round. Like, I must have had some resemblance of willpower and self-restraint and things like that before, and I just can't get a handle on it this time round. I don't know what it is, but I'm just getting really frustrated with going around in circles and not really making much progress. I had hoped at the beginning of the year, with it being like a fresh start and a fresh year, that I would be able to get a handle of things and sort of be able to progress throughout the whole of the year, and that just hasn't happened so far. So I'm not really sure entirely what I'm going to do at the moment. I'm just going to have to keep going and just hope that at some point things level out and I'm able to make good progress for a while, and then that will sort of get the ball rolling, if you will. So yeah, if anyone has any suggestions on how I can sort of get my shit together, then please, I'm all ears. But for now, I'm just sort of winging it and hoping for the best. So we'll go through my goals for last month. I'm not sure whether I'm going to keep this goal section in my video for next month, just because I set the same goals every single time. So it may as well just be that I sort of set my intentions for the month. So yeah, we'll go through the goals anyway. So I had set a goal for nutrition last month. I had hoped to be on track for most of February. That obviously didn't happen. That went out of the window pretty fast. So that is a failed goal. I have been on track. I've been off track for at least 3 weeks of February. So yeah, that goal is completely kaput. The next goal I set was to stay on track with my training plan and hopefully have some gym sessions in there. The gym is just not happening at the moment, obviously because my training plan was taking precedent and I had the race coming up, and I kept stopping and starting with the gym. Every time I went in the gym, I was getting really bad DOMs and that was interrupting my training plan, so the gym is just out of the window for now. After the race is done, I will try and pick that back up, but for now, I'm not going to set any more sort of goals for the gym. In terms of the training plan, as I mentioned, I've had quite a bit of stuff going on this month, so I did have 2 weeks where I didn't run at all, which isn't great when you're coming up to the end of your training plan. That was sort of the paramount weeks that were needed in order to build the mileage, and I didn't do those weeks. So I had been debating earlier this week whether I was going to do the race or not, just because everything has been really up in the air and my routine is still really up in the air with me having to taxi Philip everywhere. So I wasn't really sure whether I was prepared to go into that race. I think I am. I have now set myself on doing the race. I did a long run on Monday, which went pretty well, so that sort of reassured me that I can at least do the race. But it's been a bit of a shambles in terms of training. And then the last goal that I set was to drink more water, and that just hasn't happened. Every single time that I set a goal for drinking more water, it just doesn't happen. I don't really have a sort of, I don't know what the word is, like an increased thirst. I'm not thirsty very often. Like I could probably go most of the day without having a drink, just because I don't have that sort of thirst for a drink. So whenever I do have a drink, it is a cup of tea, and that's usually to keep warm rather than me being actually thirsty. So yeah, the liquids that I've drunk this month has usually been tea or coffee or something like that. I'm not sure where that cut me off. But yeah, I have not been drinking much water at all. I'm not going to set that as a goal. I'm just going to sort of go with how I feel. If I feel thirsty, then hopefully I'll have a cup of water, but it usually ends up being tea. So yeah, pretty much a sort of fail overall. Like I said, I'm really frustrated with how things are going and how I'm not making much progress, but there's not much I can do at this point. I just have to hope that at some point my mindset flips. Like it did in August. Maybe it will take a meltdown. Maybe next month you will see me crying on camera again. I'm hoping it doesn't come to that and I'll be able to sort of get my stuff together before then. So the plan for next month is very much the same as, I'm saying next month, I mean this month, is going to be very much the same as last month. So nutrition wise, I need to sort of get on track with that. I can't have any more off days, so I have been tracking the last couple of days, which is better than the no tracking that I've done for most of the month. So hopefully I will continue that and keep my calories within the range that I'm supposed to have. I have my race next week, so training in the meantime will resume as normal. As I mentioned, I've done a long run on Monday. I am hopefully going to run today, and then I'll have a handful of runs in the lead up to the race next week. After that point, I will probably set some sort of training plan going forward that will include a balance of running and gymming, and hopefully that will be my routine going forward, obviously because I don't have any more races at this point in the future. I will hopefully be able to find that balance between running and gymming and get into some sort of routine with that. And then the final goal I've set, or the plan that I've set, or whatever, is to get back into doing my 10k steps a day. I did stop my 10k steps a day in December. I had done them from April up until December, so I had done them for quite a while. But I was finding that with me doing Vlogmas and things like that, I didn't have the time really to be going out and walking. In between that, I was basically working and then filming and then editing and didn't really have time for steps. And it was getting really hard to sort of get the steps up without being up really late at night trying to fit them in. So I ended up just stopping my step streak at that point. But I have decided to pick it back up, and I do feel like it was beneficial. It did allow me to sort of move my body, and when I wasn't running and things like that, I at least got in some sort of activity. And obviously when you do 10k steps a day, you are burning calories during that time, so the sort of increased of burning calories will help out in the long run. So I do also think it's beneficial for sort of the mental side of things. When I'm not doing my step streak and I don't have like a step goal in mind, I don't leave the house most of the time unless it's to go and pick up Philip or when I'm going to work or whatever. So yeah, it will encourage me to at least get some fresh air, which at the moment is sort of naff because the weather has been really poor lately. But I'm hoping that obviously as it's getting lighter and as we're sort of getting to spring and we'll be going into summer, that it will encourage me to get out a bit more for a walk. So hopefully that will help. And yeah, I can't remember how long my streak has been so far. I think it's been at least a week. So hopefully that will continue, but yeah, that is basically the plan going forward. I just need to sort of try and get in some sort of routine and keep consistent. Like, where is my word of the year coming in at the moment? I'm supposed to be focusing on consistency this year, and that just hasn't happened. I obviously know that things have gotten in the way, like with Philip, with me having to take him to work and things like that, but I can work around that, and I just haven't. With the personal issue at the time, obviously I accept that I may have had a week off, but in the sort of 2 weeks after that point where I'd sort of started to feel a bit more normal and less anxious, that could have been the time that I could have got back on track, and I didn't. So yeah, yeah, feel like I'm ranting, so I'm just going to end the video here. If you have any suggestions, if anyone's in the same boat and you've been able to sort of get out of this sort of like vicious cycle, do let me know. But I'm coming to the end of my tether at the moment. I'm not at the point where I'm going to give up, because that would be silly, but I don't know what to do. I know people have coaches and nutritionists and things like that, but I'm not in that sort of, I'm not at that point where I can give that sort of money. So I need to sort of try and do it myself. So yeah, I'm going to end the video here. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. You can always click the notification bell down below and be notified of when my videos go live. Other than that, I hope you're all staying safe and well. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend, whenever it is that you're watching this, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye.